Welcome to the second part of this HPE OneView demonstration. And in this demo, we're going to create some networks, network sets, logical interconnect groups or LIGs, and enclosure groups. So we might just review these concepts before we go into the demo. A network is an object that defines a particular layer 2 Ethernet network or a fiber channel over Ethernet fabric. We're going to assign a network to a server profile, and that will be referenced in network sets and uplink sets. Now, a network set is a collection of networks. When you apply this to a server FlexNIC, it implies the use of VLAN tagging. Because traffic from multiple VLANs traverses the FlexNIC, in effect you have a VLAN trunk. Now, the network set is an object that we assign to network connections in server profiles to simplify multiple network connection and management. An LIG is similar to an HPE Virtual Connector main group in that it defines the types of modules located in an enclosure and the system-wide module settings such as IGMP snooping, loop protection, multicast filtering, and so on. The LIG also defines uplink connectivity for Ethernet, fiber channel over Ethernet, and fiber channel networks. The LIG is assigned to an enclosure group to complete the enclosure configuration policy. An enclosure group is a concept that was introduced to the Converged Infrastructure Management Framework, and what it does is it defines a set of enclosures that use the same configuration for LAN and SAN network connectivity. The network connectivity for an enclosure group is defined by the LIG assigned to the enclosure group, and this ensures that each enclosure has an identically configured logical interconnect and therefore the same configuration for network connectivity. So we are here in the HPE OneView portal, and I'm going to click on the main menu and go to Networks. And as you will see, there are no networks here at the moment. So I'm going to click Create Network. And I need to enter some information. I'm going to call it VLAN 1A. It's going to be an Ethernet network. It's going to be tagged, and the VLAN ID is going to be 1. We're going to set the purpose to be management, and we want to take it 0.5 gigabits per second minimum, and maximum is going to be 10 gigabits per second. We're going to leave SmartLink enabled, and private network is going to be disabled. We're going to create plus. What this is going to do, it's going to create that single network and leave me on the same screen where I'm going to create some additional networks. So I'm going to pause the recording, create some additional networks, and then we'll come back in a few moments. Okay, so I've created 6 A-side networks, and we can see here I've set this one, the purpose is management, 10A, the purpose is VM migration, and then the other ones are general. And these network purpose settings are used by OneView for vCenter to evaluate the network configuration of a hypervisor host in comparison to the Virtual Connect and HPE OneView server profile. So I've also created 6 B-side networks, and they're complementary to the A-side, and I've set the purpose of those also and the minimum and maximum bandwidth. So we've got our 12 Ethernet networks. Now let me create some fiber channel networks. And my first one, called Fabric A. Set its type to fiber channel. It's going to be fabric attach. We're not going to associate it with a SAN just now. We're going to have a preferred bandwidth of 4 gigabits per second. Maximum bandwidth of 10. We're going to leave the login redistribution set to auto and the link stability interval set to 30 seconds. Create plus, that's going to create that network, and then return me to the create network screen to create some more. I'm going to create my B side, fabric-B, and it's going to be fabric attach again. It's going to be 4 to 10, so let's create plus. So those were fabric attached. Now I'm going to create 2 direct attach fiber channel connections. So my next one's called direct A. is going to be direct attach. Create that. And my final one is FCOE direct B. Direct attach again. And when I click create, it creates that network. Now I can see I've got my 4 fiber channel networks, and there are my 12 Ethernet networks that I created previously. So all the networks have been created. Now what I want to do is to create a network set. So we go to the main menu, click network sets, and we see no network sets in there at the moment. So I click create network set. I'm going to call this network set VLAN set A. And now I need to add some networks to that set. And I'm going to add VLAN 20A. Now I'm going to hit the control, hold down the control key. I'm going to select 20A, 30A, and 40A. And I'm going to click add. So I've got 20A, 30A, and 40A. Now I'm going to click create plus and create another set called VLAN set B. And I'm going to add to that some networks, 20B, 30B, and 40B. I'm holding down the control key to do that multiple select. Add those. And then just verifying everything looks good, then click create. So I've got 2 VLAN sets, set A and set B. Now I'm going to create a logical interconnect group. So from the main menu again, click logical interconnect groups, and we have none there at the moment. So I click create logical interconnect group. I'm going to give it a name. It's going to be called prod flex fabric lig, and from the drop down menu for bay 1 I'm going to select the flex fabric 20/40 F8 module, and then same on bay 2. So now I've got the bay 1 and bay 2 with the flex fabric 20/40 F8 module in them. And now I'm going to click add uplink set, and this uplink set is going to be called LAN uplink set A. Its type is Ethernet, and now I need to add some networks to that uplink set. For this I'm going to select all networks on the A side, so I'm holding down the control key and selecting all those A side networks and click add. So just checking that, and it looks good. Now I need to add some uplink ports. So I click add uplink ports, and I'm going to select ports Q1.1 and Q1.2 from bay 1, Q1.1, 1.2 from bay 1, and click add. Okay, that all looks good. So I click create plus. That leaves me on the create uplink set screen. Now I'm going to do the same again for the B side. So I'm just going to pause and we'll come back once I've created those B side uplinks. So I've finished adding the LAN uplinks here. I've got, if I hover over this leg here, I can see that I've got in bay 1, I've got Q1.1 and Q1.2, and then for my B side I've got bay 2 uplink Q1.1 and Q1.2. So that all looks good. Well, now I'm going to add another uplink set for fiber channel connections now. So I'll click Add Uplink Set, and this is going to be called FC Uplink Set A. Type is fiber channel. Now I'm going to search in my networks box for FC, and that brings up the results of everything that begins with FC in it. And I'm going to select FCOE Fabric A. I'm going to add uplink ports. And my uplink ports are going to be X1 and X2 in Bay 1. And click Add. Now I'm happy with that, so I'm going to click Create Plus, and I'm going to create my FC Uplink Set B. Again, search for FC. This is going to be FCOE Fabric B, and my uplink ports are going to be X1 and X2 in Bay 2. Okay, I'm happy with that. Click Create Plus. Now I'm going to create my uplink set for my direct connections. And this is going to be called FC Direct A. Again, search for FC, and my network is FC Direct A. And my uplink port is going to be X3 in Bay 1. I'm happy with that, so Create Plus. Now my final FC network is FC Direct B. Select my network, add my uplink port, and that's going to be X3 in Bay 2. Add, and then create. So now, when I hover over each of my uplink sets, it shows me the connections, Bay 1, Bay 2, there's my FC for Bay 1, FC for Bay 2, there's my direct FC for Bay 1, and my direct FC for Bay 2. Now let's go, let me just create that. As you can see, it's verifying parameters. That'll take a few moments for that link to be created. And there it is, done. Now let's go create an enclosure group. So from the main menu, we select Enclosure Groups. We have none at the moment, so I'll click Create Enclosure Group. And I'm going to call this one Prod Enclosure Group. Prod for production. And in Bay 1, I'm going to do a search for, actually I'll click the disclosure triangle here and select my production flex fabric lig that we created earlier on. Notice that it's applied that to Bays 1 and Bay 2. And now we click Create. So this enclosure group is being created. And when I take the drop-down menu and click Map, it shows me the relationship between the enclosure group and the lig. So I can go in here and I can hover over these items and see what's connected to what logically. So that's the end of the second demo. In the next demo, we're going to add and view an enclosure in OneView. So we see you then.